Hello again, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream with me and my friends playing role-playing games. I'm super late, super behind. Everything has gone wrong in my house. I'm just happy to be here, honestly, because holy fucking shit, it's amazing. And I'm just going to jump right into it because we're 15 minutes late. I'm just going to go ahead and unmute myself as soon as possible here. And hello, everybody. Oh, Christ. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good. Yeah. Because I spent another 2 minutes trying to figure out why the fuck the rest of my computer decided it didn't know what speakers and headphones were. My fucking recording software is like, you're currently hooked up to 000x4x0x. No, I want the microphone, you dick. Fucking, I can't even. I don't know what happened.
Are you okay, Phil?
I don't like computers. I work with them exclusively.
Yeah, really. Aren't you in the wrong business there, sir?
Yeah. I figured I could make money doing it because, computers break when I'm nearby. And this is true. But I now have a permanent state of stress in my real life and personal life and private life and everything else. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the stream. So, let me just drink this entire beer.
Chug, 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 chug!
No, stop that.
Speaking of chugging beers.
Is not showing.
Huh?
I was yelling at James.
Oh, okay. How was the root beer I brought you guys?
Different.
Yeah, you can't eat anything sweet while you're drinking it either.
No, it's far too sweet to do that. Yeah.
No, it changes the taste. It makes it really weird.
Interesting. Alrighty. That's fun. Mr. Tom might be interested to hear that Becky and I procured some of those candies that we talked about from Juan, who knew somebody. Yep.
I am curious as to how they were received.
I think they were old and shitty because of the total amount that we took in various quantities. Only once were they actually effective. And that was on me. And it was a very unique experience.
Your wife must have been disappointed then.
Well, so she's smoked before, once or twice maybe. So she's had the experience, and I never have. This is the first time. It was. You can hear my wife calling for her dog because some bullshit happened, and the dog's probably not in there anymore. I don't know. The kids are probably responsible. Let's be honest. I don't remember much about it now, but at the time I was trying to describe to her what was going on. As apparently you do when, that's one of the classic tropes. And I told Juan, I messaged him, I'm like, I had all of the, classic getting high symptoms. If you read what getting high was from a book, I'm like, yes, check. Yes, that one. I've got that as well. I was looking, I took a bunch, and then it didn't work, so I took a bunch more an hour later. And then we were watching a zombie show, this Z Nation, that's absolutely horrible. Well, actually, if you think of it as a comedy, it's actually not bad, but it's definitely not a serious zombie show. It was on Sci-Fi, a Sci-Fi original, so there you go. And so I looked down at my phone, I'm playing a game on my phone. I look up at the TV and I'm like, oh no, things are happening. I was like, the disorientation between my phone and the TV was very strong. At one point, I remember going into the kitchen in the house that we were staying in to get something. I think it was water. I don't remember how I got there. I don't remember how I got back. I just remember it being very far away and very dark. And Becky was calling for me. She's like, I need you to get something for me. And I'm like, she knows that she's a quarter mile away, right? This is, I'm gonna be lucky if I don't fall on my way back. But it was a good experience overall. So yeah, but we tried to reproduce it for her, for me, no, nothing. Barely any effects. I would say no effects. I get more from a 1 or 2 beers. But that one time worked very well. I think I had to take 300 milligrams. Milligram per pound, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so let me jump right into it then. the last thing that we did before taking like a 2-month break or whatever it's been was Divad Goldenstein was reciting a very memorable and uplifting speech about humanity's first trip in their own vessel at faster than light speeds. And shortly after he began speaking, Peter realized that the numbers on his display did not include a 9 or a 4 or an 8, and he said, "Fuck this!" and he hit the go button. And Divad's speech was cut short, leaving everyone on Wolf Station going, was that it? He said it was one small step for, and then he disappeared. What happened?
Right. Humanity's battle cry will now be 4.
I'm looking at this thing on my screen here, and I'm like, oh, there's a bubble on my monitor, so I keep trying to rub it off. No, it's actually a fucking door jam thing to prevent the door from... And I'm like, no, it's not real. It's actually on the wall. As the Nero enters hyperspace, you all get a brief feeling of discomfort, similar to weightlessness, lasting a few moments. Grebe seems unaffected, although he's currently uncomfortably draped over Peter's chair in a piloting chamber that's clearly built for one stocky human. Divad is in the computer room where he was finishing his departure speech. Matthias is buckled into a chair in sickbay, all the important equipment locked down. Arthur is monitoring power levels in the engine core. And your mercenary soldier Mark Jones, the very unambiguously named Mark Jones.
You mean the red shirt?
The red shirt is currently strapped into a safety chair in your lounge area. When the Nero emerges from hyperspace, your sensors pick up a nearby red dwarf star, 4 planets, 7 other natural space objects, and 2 space objects that are not natural, before an energy surge cripples the ship. Evidently, the travel through hyperspace wasn't without hiccups. Arthur,
Yes.
I need you to roll your craft engineering skill.
All right. Okay. Good.
Fix the sheet.
Sheet.
Oops. Nope. Sorry. Wrong way.
Yes.
2 8s, not bad for 2d10. That's 16 damage, and the goblin goes out. That's real rough. Okay, before you decide how many style points you want to burn, your console lights up with these 10 messages, all in red, and sirens start blaring across the ship. Error. Communications array local comms broadcast signal fault stack overflow. Severe warning. Power overload in distribution console. Deck 1 explosion imminent. Critical failure. Cryosleep cubes 1 through 4 power failure imminent. Loss of life possible. Warning. Oxygen vent power failure. Life support impacts. Air quality will dip below corporate safety levels in 120 minutes. Severe failure. Cargo bay door 6 inoperative. Last known state was locked closed. External sensors offline. Reboot required. Decoupling failure. Connected armament does not compute. Weapon system 2. Port thruster offline. Venting fuel to space. Mr. Coffee heat failure. Docking clamps offline. Manual reset approval required.
All right. Number 2.
I'm saying you can fix 2 of these immediately with your roll of 2 out of 10.
All right.
If you wish to burn style points, I'll give you 1 additional system for each point that you burn now.
No, that's all right. I will fix number 2 and number 8.
Okay. You stop the explosion on deck 1, and you fix the ship. Oh, by the way, I've provided a little note of what all these things do. The ship's engines are fixed. After you you respond in your terminal as quickly as you can to reroute power. the ship's power goes off for a second and then comes back on. And most of these systems, the other 8, fail in the way that is indicated. Some of them are not terribly bad, but Peter, you've noticed that right after you locked all of these different things on your sensors stopped working. And any attempt to communicate with them just goes beep, 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 beep. All right. There won't be a power explosion, so that's good. And the engine is fixed. That's good. Okay. At this point, you realize everything else on that list, you're going to have to run your ass from the deck that you're on to the location to provide manual fixes. Some of these are going to be quick, like the Mr. Coffee heating element.
I don't care. You want my order? I'm going to fix things in.
Give me your first one, because shit's happening all over the place.
6.
6.
6 will be the next one.
All right, you're heading to sensors. Let me pull up a picture of the Nero here, so I can figure out where you are, where that is, and how long it's going to take you to get there. Okay. You guys all probably have a copy of this at home, or on your computer, I mean. But let me pull it up here. So you are currently in engine core on deck 3, right in the middle of the ship. So technically, probably the best place you could be to get anywhere. The elevator is still working, thankfully, because the power didn't explode. And the sensors are on, I want to say top deck, but it's actually very small here. Oh, no, it's right here. Yeah, it's right across the hall. Sensor array.
Sensors on deck 3, too.
Okay, so you'll get there pretty quickly. Anybody else doing anything as the ship sort of bursts into emergency warning flares and everything else?
How far away are we from atmosphere?
You don't know if any of the planets here have atmosphere that you can breathe. Unfortunately, you detected 4 planets and then 7 like asteroids, planetoids, moons, things like that, before the sensors went offline. You did not get to check to see if any of them are breathable.
Well, I also happen to have electronics and mechanics. I will help with repairs.
Okay.
Work on number 1. Work on number 1 there, since you'll be up. You're up close to the communications array, anyways.
Yep. That can be fixed in the computer room, probably.
Yeah, so that's where I actually am.
Where
so
Devad
what
is.
computer, if it's functioning, tell me is wrong. Do I get the full list?
Right now, your computer just says error reboot required, and it just blinks.
Fine, well, it gets a reboot. Well,
all right. Do you have any engineering skill?
hang on, let me double check. Been a while.
Because this is a hardware problem, not a software one.
So you're telling me it's on fire?
I'm telling you, the power supply blew.
It being on fire usually means it's a hardware problem.
Yeah, there is a bit of smoke, but not a lot.
Let's see.
And it's getting stuffy in here. It feels like the fans aren't blowing.
I have 1 rank in electronics.
Okay, you can go ahead and make that. If you succeed, I will let you start rebooting it, but it's going to take some time, as Peter Langdon comes in to assist in a moment.
Is that the closest thing that I can repair?
Yes, it is literally the closest thing to you because the computer room is right behind your bridge. The only other thing that would be close is the docking clamps, which is probably a lower priority.
Yeah. Because I can't both focus on it and my motivational primer, I only get 2 successes.
Okay. 2 successes is enough. You find where the power supply is and you reroute to the backup supply. And then the computer bings and it's rebooting communications. And you hear a crackle of static coming from your radio. But it's you know that it's eventually going to come back. It might just take a moment. And then Peter, you poke your head in, and it looks like Devad has this one handled.
Okay.
The next...
What else is wrong will be what I'm yelling, because I don't have a list, technically.
Okay. So in a few seconds, you're like, because you're there, you saw what happened. The radio comes back as Arthur slides himself under one of the consoles in the sensor array to find out where the smoke is coming from. You can now communicate using your intership radio. So, Devada...
First thing I will yell for is a sound off. Who is still up?
Mark
Everyone
Jones
is still up.
is alive.
Everyone's alive.
Yep.
Busy!
Over Peter's shoulder,
Alive.
you see
Good.
Greeb's large head. Greeb is alive.
Has anyone seen our red shirt?
Yeah, he
alive.
radioed it. He said, "I'm here. I'm alive."
All right. Yay!
alive.
First priority recovered.
All right, Arthur, make an engineering roll to see if you can repair the sensors. Go ahead. Also, I'm assuming Arthur will radio back, letting you know which systems are broken. In order of importance, he probably... the docking clamps...
Life support will be the next thing.
yeah, the life support. The life support fans are off.
Shoot, it didn't run.
A 3. Okay, this one's going to take you some time because the damage is more severe.
Excuse me.
But you start working on resetting up the sensor array. Peter, as the system comes back, it's been maybe a minute, 60 seconds or so, since the power surge hit the ship. Make a piloting roll.
Okay.
This is less about your actual ability to pilot through space and more about just a sense of awareness of what's going on in space around
I'll
you.
take my average of 3.
Okay.
I should have done that.
You are-
we can do that.
As the sensors start coming back, they're still not working yet. Arthur's bitching and moaning about the terrible work that somebody else did. Of course, it wasn't him. And you're looking around through your field, your open window at space. You can see the nearby red dwarf star. You can see one of the planets that you're fairly close to, hovering in space. And you get the tingle out of the corner of your eye that something is moving toward you.
From what direction?
Far off to the right of the ship. It looks like it might be coming from the third planet from the star. It's
Now,
maybe...
sensors-
Sorry, go ahead.
Sensors you said are currently off?
They're currently they're currently off. Arthur is trying to reconnect them as quickly as he can.
Okay. Then I will try to navigate the ship so that we are pointing towards them.
Okay. Thankfully, your engines are fully online and you're able to change the direction of the ship. Without it being very close, there are a few, millions of kilometers away.
A bazillion.
A bazillion kilometers away. They are flying toward you. You've warped in somewhere in between the second and third planet, according to your remembrance of the sensor logs. And it's going to take them a long time to get here. They're traveling something less than light speed, but they're moving very quickly through space. You can't, at this distance, tell what it is. It's dark. You don't have sensor readings. And, you're probably like, come on, I need those sensors. A few agonizing minutes pass by as Arthur rewires things in a hurry, finds the burnt out wires and replaces them. After about 10 minutes, you get your sensors back.
Gonna be organic. And,
Yes. You scan the system again, and data starts coming in. A organic vessel about 60 meters long, less than half the size of the Nero, and resembling a squid with two large tentacle structures dangling underneath it, is rapidly approaching your vessel.
Same design as the one that we nuked before.
It's very different shape-wise. The thing you nuked before looked like an overlord from the StarCraft. Thank you, StarCraft. Star Wars, Star something, StarCraft. This one looks like a squid with only 2 tentacles, and they're but it's definitely similar enough. They're both organic ships.
So, all right. My brain won't tell me without scrolling around. What were we armed with besides the uranium slug cannon?
That one is currently not working. The other thing you're armed with is basically a lead Gatling gun. It shoots thousands of rounds per minute, but they're all very small bullets, essentially.
Great. So I know since I'm in the sense room, do I notice this thing's coming in?
Yeah, you're getting probably not, because you're underneath the console, like jerry rigging wires together. But your radio works, so when Peter goes, "That's not good."
Yeah, as soon as sensors have been restored, I mean, I'll make a ship-wide announcement saying we have incoming.
Son of a bitch. All right. Do we need to go outside to get that gun fixed?
No. You can fix the gun internally to the ship. You won't need to walk outside. But you will need to be... You will probably need to be in the weapons room on operations floor 1. And you're currently in sensor array. I don't think anyone other than Arthur will have the expertise to reconnect the uranium cannon.
Not even our grunt?
What was that?
Not even our grunt?
He is more of a soldier, less of a ship.
He failed high school. Got it. Moving on.
Yeah. I mean, you could order him to try.
He can pull the trigger, not much else.
But we now have communications, I believe, right? That
Yes.
was fixed.
Yeah, see if we can talk to it. Maybe it's not the same people.
Yes.
I will send a message
To the squid?
to the squid.
Okay.
It will not be in English. It will basically just be a mathematical series of beeps and such like that to indicate general intelligence.
Okay. You send beeps and boops at the squid. A mathematical equation in, Morse code, essentially.
Or I do pi or something.
Grebe, who's currently hanging over your shoulder uncomfortably close, but is wearing a helmet, is like, "Oh yeah, that's Wrath. Those are bad. That's going to try to attach itself to us. Do you want to see?"
Yes.
Okay. Grebe holds his hand out, and he gives you a mental image. You see things for a moment from the eyes of a Feldar, looking out the side of a spaceship at this thing. Imagine, if you will, a kraken trying to grab a hold of an old pirate ship and drag it under the waves. That's kind of what this thing is doing, only it looks like it's searching for a hole, and then once it finds one with this tentacle, it suctions on, and spiders come out of it. Wrath soldiers pour out of the hole that it finds.
Lovely.
So the memory lasts maybe 20 seconds or so, and then Grebe, pulls his hand back and he goes, "That's what it does."
Okay. Navigation is not as terribly important right now as speed. I will accelerate as rapidly as we possibly can.
Okay.
Just to delay this thing from getting up to us.
Okay. You point in the cardinally opposite direction of this thing, and floor it as far as your engines can go. The Nero is bulky. It's harder to turn than it is to move. So once you do turn it around and start flying away, you are moving. The approach of the creature is slowed because now you're running away from it. But it will eventually catch up to you.
Right.
but you're buying more time. In the meantime, Arthur, you finish your work on the sensor array.
And I run up to the main gun.
Okay. You slide out from under the array on like one of those little boards that mechanics use to get under and out of cars, and you grab it. You grab it and a blowtorch, and you start hoofing it to the elevator, swearing all the while. God damn piece of shit, old bucket.
I'm basically going to start rummaging for the manual for it so I can recite to him how it's supposed to actually go together.
Yep.
I'm gonna take my average since I'm rolling.
Right.
Well, you get an extra 4 die. You get an extra 2 onto your average because I'm blithering at you.
Yep. So as you arrive in weapons, the door is a little jammed. It's not opening the way it should, and you wedge your like blowtorch into it and pry it open, swearing about how you're going to fix that shit too. You get into weapons, and it's just red siren alerts everywhere. Bleep, 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 bleep. And the uranium cannon is offline. Apparently, the Nero doesn't recognize it as a valid weapon, and it's been, you've plugged the wrong thing into the USB port. Is essentially what it boils down to. This is not a valid peripheral. So you need to convince the machine that, in fact, yes, this is a goddamn valid peripheral because we had it installed at the base.
I did it.
And right as you're doing that, you receive a radio communication from Devad. The correct associated peripherals for this USB-C are a mouse, a keyboard, and you're like, God damn it, I'm trying to fix the weapon. So add 2 to your engineering roll, which you said you're going to take your average.
So that'd be a 7.
That'll be a 7. It only takes you another 60 seconds or so, and the uranium cannon is reporting working normal. Would you like to fire a test round?
Yeah.
I think
Tom,
I'd rather surprise the enemy, but
What's
Sorry.
Peter, swing us around and let me fire a test shot at that thing.
Isn't this thing on a swivel or a turret?
The uranium
No.
cannon is not. It's focused directly in front of you because it's your main weapon.
How much time would they gain on us if I do that?
You'll have to slow down, turn around, and face them completely for him to have a chance in hell of hitting them.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. We've all seen The Expanse. He just needs to cut engines and flip.
I haven't seen The Expanse. What kind of ships are they flying in The Expanse? Are they flying 150-meter fucking cargo cruisers?
mechanics is a thing, but it's still slow.
Yeah.
You know what? I tell you what. I can give Peter Langdon a piloting maneuver roll if he'd like to try to like spin this thing.
Well, basically, I'll say this. I mean, Arthur's like, "Hey, turn us around. I want to take a shot," and I'll be like, "Get all your repairs done, and then I'll turn us."
It's repaired. I just want to. It says it's up. I want to do a test shot to make sure.
First dipshit.
What's left on the list other than the Mr. Coffee?
Docking clamps. Do you care about the docking clamps right now?
Life support's good. Fix the life support before I turn the sucker.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cryo down is bad, but not great.
Yep. The computer in Devad's room is reporting that you have about 100 minutes of air left before it exceeds normal safety standards, which for Devad is a huge fucking deal. This is company safety standards. For the rest of you, it's like we could probably go like another hour.
All right. Skew us to
yes,
one
yes.
side so I can fire a test shot, and then I'll go do life support.
Fine.
Okay. So let me re-ask: are you turning all the way around to shoot at the vessel, or are you just shooting at something?
So I just want him to skew so we don't run into our own bullet. That's all.
Fair enough. Okay. Make a piloting roll, and Arthur, make a weapons roll.
Where is the oxygen thing? I
Firearms.
have to work on it myself.
No, gunnery.
Gunnery would be better. Yes, you're right. Gunnery is for ships. Make a gunnery roll if you even have it.
Do you have gunnery?
Int -2. Nice.
I take a style point.
Oh, you'll take a style point now, but not when we need to fix things.
So you pull the trigger and nothing happens. You're like, what the? And then you do like a Fonzie hitting on the side, and then a huge superheated uranium plasma pellet goes firing straight out, and then piloting roll.
I'll take my
Peter,
3.
3, okay. You shut off one of the 2 engines to turn the ship so that you don't accidentally, like, eventually catch up to the bullet. It careens through space, leaving a superheated trail that then rapidly starts cooling as it travels through the vacuum of space. It seems like the gun is working.
Gun is up on the life support.
You have no idea if it's aiming properly because that was a terrible shot. All right, you start running down to life support. That is... where's life support?
I don't see a life support.
It may not be... it might be back in engine core.
It probably with the light drive and shielding area would be my guess.
Yeah. Yep.
The problem is, Phil, when you wrote this all up, we were running on an auxiliary.
That's right. You had a massive one in the cargo bay that was doing it all for you. Yeah, now you're down to your basic ship one, and of course it fucking broke. Yeah, no, it'll actually be an engine core. The light drive shielding is mostly like... That actually is like the warp core of like Star Trek. Like, that's the thing where if you go inside it, you're gonna melt.
Okay.
Plus the shielding that prevents it from, damaging your ship. So engine core is where you're going to have to do with light support. So you start huffing it down there and take the elevator down to engine core. Tom, you believe that in the next 10 minutes that ship is going to get to you.
Does the weapon need to be reloaded manually?
The uranium one? No. Actually, neither one does. They're both automatic.
And basically, I will try to navigate myself or maneuver myself so that I can basically take a shot.
Okay.
And hope the best.
You basically yell over the comms, hold on, we're going to engage the vessel.
Jesus.
You slam on one of the engines and turn off the other one so you can spin around as fast as you can. You going to take your 3 in piloting again?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. It's not the greatest maneuver you've ever done, but it works. And then you are facing the ship, and within another minute or 2, it enters the range of your uranium cannon.
Yeah.
Remember not to waste ammo and leave your target.
As a reminder, use of the uranium cannon is restricted to Class 3 security.
I'll take a shot.
All right, go for it. Gunnery.
2 extra, enjoy your 4 extra dice.
Then I'll take my average of 4 then.
Ooh, your average is 4. Okay.
Well, I have a base gunnery of 4. He's giving me 4.
He's giving you blithering. Okay.
I'll take my average.
Let's do... Okay. You shoot at the ship. There is a bit of a distance penalty, so I'll subtract yours by 1. But you do manage to glance the side of the squid, spraying a purple goo into space. It continues advancing on you, and the uranium cannon starts reloading. It takes a long time for it to recharge the plasma coil that heats the uranium shells. You are far too far away to make any use of the Gatling cannon. It's close combat only. And your Mark Jones will basically say, I'm going to head to the Gatling cannon.
All right, man, that.
He runs from the lounge to the weapons room to sort of deposit himself into one of those, sit and shoot spinning things. Okay. Life support. Make another engineering roll.
Please let me roll decently. There.
Oh, look at that. Fantastic. You reach in and you pull out like a rat that got stuck in it, and it goes, and starts immediately blowing. fresh, cool air, smelling a little bit less like rats and more like air, starts filtering in through all of the decks. And that one is now fixed. And Tom, you get another a shot with your uranium cannon as this thing starts speeding toward you.
I'm liking the average of 4. This is working.
Another shot with 4. It is likely to hit because they have 4 for defense.
Time till they get to us, and let's deploy personal arms.
Okay, you no longer are getting the penalty for distance. You do another shot to it. This one definitely connects, and more blood sprays. You feel like you can almost hear it squealing in agony. And then it gets within Gatling cannon range. You're reloading your uranium cannon again, and you hear Mark yelling, "Die, you squid sons of bitches!" And he starts firing. Bam, 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 bam.
We have a reverse. Just fire the forward thrust, disengage thrusters, and just keep getting into more range.
Your reverse engines are woefully slow.
But right now, anything is better than getting us an extra shot in first would be good.
The reverse engines kick on. Brrr. You start backing up slowly.
Hey, be careful, those will probably blow up.
Somewhere in the rear of the vehicle, a bunch of red lights flash, and you hear beep, 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 as you back up.
Nope. Engineering failure, gun goes on swivel. Note that in my notes.
Okay. Mark Jones will take a bunch of shots, but they'll all boil down to this.
Ron, the uranium cannon's effectively a rail gun, and basically is too long to put on a swivel. It runs along the length of the ship.
Yeah, it's an enormous. It's like a 10-meter long cannon, and it's something that you added to the Nero just prior to the battle with, or the expected battle with the Wrath at Wolf Station. So, yeah. Okay, he shoots at the squid, but the lead pellets do not seem to have nearly the same effect as the plasma slug did. They bounce off harmlessly. You'll both get one more shot. Go ahead, Peter.
Now, last time we faced these things, the lead pellets did, the Gatling guns did affect it.
Yes, and
But it was a different ship.
this is definitely different. Now that this thing is getting closer and closer to you, you can see the difference. The previous thing just looked like a big blob with like a rib cage almost around it. This thing is sleeker. It's got armoring. It looks very much like a squid in space. And the uranium pellets are definitely damaging it, but you're seeing the lead like wiggle off of the side of it.
Everyone to space suits.
Okay. Divad, I will give you one more blither. You can use the blither basically once a round, right?
Yes.
Who are you boosting? Peter or the grunt?
I believe Peter, because the grunt, it looks like he's going to be highly ineffective.
Okay.
Then I'll take my 4.
Okay, you take another 4. Let's roll the defense for the plasma first. Ooh, lots of damage there. That one went like straight through the thing's mouth. And then the damage resistance against the lead bullets second. Oh, fantastic. It avoided most of them. Okay. Everyone on the ship make a, let me see here, what is most appropriate? Dexterity check.
A dexterity check.
Yes. The squid slams into the side of the Nero with ramming speed, and then wraps its tentacles around it, sort of grabbing and grinding against it.
So, just a refresher, when we're making raw stats, it's twice the stat, right?
Mhm.
The stat.
Oops.
Yep.
Shoot. Screwed up.
3 decks. 3
Okay.
successes.
There.
3 successes for Arthur, 3 for Divad,
2 for me.
2 for Stan, for Matthias?
And only 2 for me.
I
And
never
only 2.
really got out of my seat. No one screamed that they were hurt, so
Yep.
I stayed put.
Everyone seems okay for now, so you don't fall. You're strapped into your chair, but you definitely... everyone has seen Star Trek when they get hit by something and everybody bounces around like this. That's what's happening.
Yeah, the wiggle of the...
Only... Peter, you get knocked out of your piloting chair onto the floor, and Grebe topples on top of you, leaving you guys kind of tangled in a mass. So you'll be spending the majority of your turn trying to stand back up in your kind of cramped piloting chair, which will give you a penalty for your piloting roll that you're going to need to make to avoid extra damage. So go ahead and make your piloting roll, but minus 2 dice.
Okay. Let's see.
You still need help with the gun. I don't...
So minus 2 dice. 2.
Okay. All right. The squid's tentacles lash and grab and scrape along the side of your vessel. Your shielding isn't designed to deal with masses this large. It's designed to bounce off tiny particles in space. And eventually the tentacle finds its way, clamps onto your docking clamp, and starts, like, chewing. It's... Moments later, you can see, like, acid is starting to burn its way through the docking clamp. Well, I guess no one really can see this except Peter. You could definitely see there's a tentacle right next to your head, essentially, because that docking clamp is right next to you. And you can hear hissing and crunching of the vessel.
This thing does not handle at all well, so doing a barrel roll would do nothing.
Not really. You would have to make a hell of a piloting roll to shake it off. And at this point, one tentacle is latched onto you. The other one is just trying to grab onto things and is like scraping across your sensor arrays, which are suddenly starting to go out again.
I just fixed those.
Yeah.
Oh, you need to fix the inside. This is an outside face. Now, can we shoot it at point blank? And what do we have for internal weaponry?
So at about this moment, 2 things happen. Mark takes another shot with the Gatling cannon at the remainder of the squid that he can still see, and you hear a thumping noise in the hallway outside of the piloting chamber, outside of the bridge. Thump, thump, kind of like a body hitting the floor.
Oh, great. Got him.
So Mark will take his shot. That is a 4d2. Using the Gatling gun, and the defense, ping, ping, ping. So he does not. Actually, Devad, are you using your blither on him this round as well?
Yes, because if the primary gun can't go off this round, I will definitely encourage.
I'm going to add some additional rolls. Okay. He does exactly 1 point of damage to it, which is enough to kill the squid. That was its last hit point. So he
conquering hero
just,
NPC.
like, point blank is just, and you can see just a burst of green and red fluid extending and then crystallizing in space, and the tentacle starts like sliding off. But then your console lights up. Air pressure problems. Shield is attempting to stabilize. Your hallway is now exposed to space. But the shield kicks in as soon as the squid's body starts falling off. And it then goes like air pressure normalizing. Okay.
All right, let's just... I'd say at this point, I need somebody with a machine gun or something, any gun. Spacesuits, and we basically open ourselves to look at that hallway to shoot the Wrath, who's probably sitting there in the airlock.
Except remember, they're all controlled by the hive mind, so it's probably just dead.
Probably just dead and is actually dead are 2 different things.
Okay. Right after Devad says that, those exact words, you hear angry scraping at the door of the airlock. Thunk, thunk.
To get in to the ship?
It is in the outside portion of the airlock, attempting to gain access to the hallway between Nav and the computer room.
Okay.
So you're telling me I get to volunteer to shoot the thing?
If you'd like to run out there and shoot it, yes. However, Mark is yelling, "I'll go shoot it," as he runs out of the weapons room.
I will gleefully act as both a meat shield and as encouragement for him.
Okay. Does anyone else want to go confront the thing in the hallway?
Close your doors.
I'm I'm below. I'm on the deck below. I can't get there.
Yep, you're down below. You're actually 2 decks below in engine core, having just fixed the. Well, now you're seeing that your sensors are offline again. God damn it! But this one,
Sensors are off again?
sensors have gone offline because the dish outside of the sensor array is half torn off.
Okay. Can I at least determine from where it came from?
Yes, you have all the sensor readings that it was taking up to that point. It came from. It looks like it was either nearby or on or attached to a floating structure outside of the third planet in the system. And Grebe will point to what you're looking at on the screen, and he'll go, "This is a Feldar space station, or was."
I will plot a course to the station then.
Okay. All right, you start moving the ship, the Nero, toward the third planet.
Yep.
Rapidly going up to max speed. Matthias, are you still hanging out in medbay waiting?
Yeah, I mean,
Avoiding trouble.
I'm not a combatant, and I don't have any engineering skills.
Okay. So you're just kind of like, I hope...
Unless someone is hurt, I don't see a point in me putting myself out in the middle of all of this.
Peter sustained minor bruising when Grebe's shin hit him in the eye. When they all sort of tumbled around in the pilot chair. But he'll be fine. Okay. Then...
I get my motivational tool, the pistol, and we will...
the pistol.
Effectively while the Marine does his job.
Are you commissaring the guy? Like, you will shoot Sabath or I will shoot you.
No, we're doing the I'm thing. Pew pew.
Pew pew. You run into the hallway and hide in the little T intersection between Nav and the computer room. As Mark crosses the corner, kneels down at that intersection with you standing right behind him, and puts like his large assault rifle with the little kickstand on the ground and is pointing it at the airlock door. Where
I'll open the door when you want me to. I'd rather save the door.
4 massive, like, meter-long claws are just ripping at the steel. And this is one of the strongest doors on the Nero, and it's tearing through it.
Right. Are all the other doors to this hallway closed?
Yes.
Yeah. Good. I make sure I'm latched to a wall so I don't get sucked out. Hopefully he's good, and I'm going to pop the door so we can shoot it.
Okay. Actually, popping that door would require you to run up to it, and that would put you dangerously close to the creature.
Yeah.
You believe that it will probably emerge through that door in a few seconds anyway.
Fine.
On its own.
Spare doors. I know, silly question.
Fortunately, you are not sucked into space. The airlock's shielding is providing some measure of pressure stabilization. Otherwise, the creature itself would probably have been sucked into space when the tentacles slopped off. It bursts through the door, and immediately Marks just opens fire on it.
Yeah.
His machine gun skill is far better than his gunnery skill. So I'm going to go ahead and roll for that.
And he gets his extra 4 dice,
And
my pathetic addition is 4.
You are telling him, in order to fire the Mark 16 assault rifle by Johnson & Johnson Industries, first start by removing the safety. And he's like, shut the fuck up, I know how to fire a gun! But it does give him a huge boost.
I'm telling him to help. I'm not firing.
Oh my god.
That's
nice roll.
Wow. I'm going to roll the thing's defense, but I don't think it's going to matter. No, it will matter. It could potentially survive this, but not well. not good at all. That was a really good shot. It rolled 9 out of 10, by the way, for those of you watching. Oh, wow, look at that. 5 successes on the defense. So just a hail of bullets just shreds this thing's arms, legs, face, torso. And it's a very much like a Starship Troopers looking thing bursting through. And it's clawing its way down the tunnel as bullets just rip through its armor, its organs, etc. It takes
4 of that.
Well, it actually takes 5 because Mark has a +1 always. He's wearing a visor that always gives him 1 success in addition to the roll.
That's really nice.
Yeah, he's got a nice little bonus there. He has 1 job, and that is to shoot things that enter your ship.
And well done.
And he does it well.
Thing, but just
This thing becomes stunned because the amount of damage it took well exceeds its stun level. And it has 1 health left.
pew.
Yeah, Devad, are you going to shoot it?
I did. I rolled. I got 4 successes out of my 6.
Okay, I'll roll its defense against your 1 pew. I don't think I'm going to roll 5 again. That was amazing. And 1 pew is enough. After shredding all of its arms, legs, limbs, and everything, you take 1 more shot, and it goes onto the floor.
I am helping.
I did it! So that's how you do it. See? You have to take your finger off the trigger. So Mark is a bit pissed at you, but he is quite happy to be the first human to... Well, actually, no, not the first human to kill a Wrath.
No. I will definitely write him up
personal combat.
In personal combat. Yeah, actually, I don't think any of them landed on the ships in the first battle. So, yes. He's like...
You're in history, buddy.
I fucking killed it! We killed it! Hooray!
You killed it.
I did kill
You
it.
killed it. You killed it. I was managing.
He runs over to it, takes out his Swiss Army knife, cuts off a tiny little piece of like one of its claws, and like attaches it to his belt. As Peter and Grebe emerge into the hallway and look down at this mess of a thing, and Grebe looks down at it like mortified at first, and then just a big smile appears on his face.
No acid blood, no other horrifying problems. The acid isn't going to do more damage.
We killed it! Very nice. Great success. They've only watched Borat. That's the only film they've ever seen.
My lovely copy of Borat in Russian with its burn, and it's a burn copy of that.
Approximate time to the Feldar station.
It'll probably take you an hour at impulsy speeds to get there.
Impulsy?
Impulsy. You know, it's not impulse, it's local space speeds. It'll take you an hour to zip over there. While Arthur runs around and repairs all the different things. The only thing you can't repair at the moment from inside the ship is going to be that sensor array. You're going to actually have to put on a spacesuit and walk about on the outside of the Nero and weld things back together. And you're not going to be doing that while the Nero is whooshing through space. Once you arrive at the station, you can certainly do that if you wish. But there may be more important things.
Let's do that anyway, because now our forward airlock, coupler, etc. is completely shot. Not that it would work. Yeah, I'm fairly sure this isn't an Apple device one, so it won't just auto-connect to alien technology.
Okay, give me a sec here. Just need to respond to a message.
I'm sorry, what was that, Carl?
Okay. So that's where we're at. The immediate threat has been dealt with.
Yay.
Yay. and you guys are moving toward the other major interesting thing in this part of space. So as you approach, Grebe will fill you in on some information. This is a derelict Feldar space station orbiting the third planet in the star system. It's a small planet, but it's rich in volcanic activity, and it contains large quantities of Elirite 162. This is that fuel that you are here for, essentially, that they use to power some of their subsystems that you, in Wolf Outpost, and indeed the Wolf Star system, doesn't have any. It's similar, or it is the same as a substance that can be mined off Venus, but nothing that humanity has ever had an interest in refining before. This space station was essentially a mining station for the Feldar. They used it to send unmanned probes to the surface, collect some of the stuff, have it shipped back off the planet, and then they use it to build their stuff. That is essentially what you guys are going to be here to do.
Unless, of course, we run into more of these lovely critters.
Right.
I was going to say, no, it falls in the no bet category that there's going to be more aliens on the station. Come on.
You would be able to tell, you would be able to scan the station for life forms, but your sensor array is currently knocked out.
Yes, how very clever of you.
How very unfortunate. Okay. What would everyone like to do at this time?
Well, before actually docking with the station, we'll do a circle or two just to see, damage. If we can just get a visual idea as to like what places might be decompressed.
Okay. You make a piloting roll as you slowly circle around the station. There are chunks of it floating in space that you need to avoid.
I had to step away for a minute. Have we scanned the rest of the system to see whether or not there's more wrath?
The sensor array has been torn slightly off of the ship by that tentacle, and Matthias needs to go out, and I'm sorry, not Matthias, Arthur needs to go out and fix it manually, doing a spacewalk, so it's going to take time, and it's not working.
And it's something we're not going to be racing at the station. So the question for you, my question to Matthias is going to be, does Matthias have any interest in the shot to pieces alien body?
I'll come and collect some samples, but otherwise we can shove it out the airlock.
Okay.
Then I will go to, once he's gotten his samples, I'll be on garbage disposal.
Yeah, another thing that's going to require a lot of time to repair is your airlock door. So shoving it out the airlock is not going to work at the moment, because if you attempt... Sorry.
Devad, I'll help you chop up the body and we'll push it out to the poop hole on the side of the ship.
You don't want samples? You don't want samples there?
No, he took some samples.
I'm going to collect samples.
Yep.
He's getting samples.
Look, an eyeball!
I'll grab any interesting looking organs as we chop the thing up.
Absolutely. So while you guys are chopping it up to push into the shitter, essentially, since that's the one working airlock on the ship, you collect, interesting looking organelles and body parts and eye stalks and stuff and put them in jars. Peter, that's a terrible piloting roll. It must have been exactly your 9.487th, whatever it is, time doing something.
Must be.
Because you crash headlong into a piece of floating debris. The damage to the Nero is insubstantial. It's, scratch the paint only. But it does rattle you a bit. Like, it's bad luck that this happened. So now you're nervous and doing all your rituals a bit.
Fair enough.
The station is absolutely in disarray. As I mentioned, there are bits of it floating. It looks like there are a large number of 1 meter large circles just drilled into the side of it. And Grebe indicates this is consistent with a wrath attack. They use those little egg missiles that burrow into the side, and then over a fairly short period of time, a few days or weeks, the egg casings decay, leaving just holes in their ship like Swiss cheese or stations. There's absolutely no gravity, no power, no atmosphere, any of that thing in this station. It is a cold, dead station, much like that ship that you first investigated years ago.
Okay.
I don't care. It's gonna be. Look at all that alien tech. Yeah.
I'm thinking about what about all those alien fun last time?
Grebe does not share your enthusiasm for an old derelict space station, but it is gleaming with Feldar technology. Yeah.
It's definitely too big to strap to the hull and fly away with.
Yeah, the space station is far larger than your vessel. However, it is much smaller than the one at Wolf Outpost that you guys are building. It doesn't look like they do much like mineral processing and refining here. The Feldar must have collected the material and then sent it through space, which probably was easy to do if they had a hyperspace drive, something that humanity until now did not have.
Any bets on what stupid things humanity's got up to while we're gone?
Would you like to make a bet? You did hyperspace jump out of the system, so it's possible that they were all destroyed by the Wrath.
Yes.
Unlikely.
Definitely a possibility.
Yeah. So if the station doesn't have any power, there's probably no way to actually access their docking bay, unless it's open to space.
Yeah, their docking bay is. Well, let's fucking wait for it. On a 2, it is open. Nope. It's currently sealed shut. There are a large number of other possible entryways, including what looks like just a huge gaping hole in the side where maybe an explosion occurred.
Yeah.
That would be your best bet, but it's one of those, it's not, because your docking clamps aren't working and there's no docking here, it's another one of those, position yourself at the right spot, everybody wears a spacesuit, we, tether ourselves to the station to try not to cause any accidents, and you jump across.
Do we have any sort of magnetic anchoring that we can use?
I'm assuming their boots are magnetic.
The boots are magnetic, and all of the...
I need the tip.
No, what you've got is more like a harpoon that's got a magnetic clamp on the end, so you launch it to attach to something. Because this isn't a human starbase, it's not, you don't follow your normal protocols. Yeah, you've got a couple magnetic harpoons that you could drag yourself as close as possible.
Just so long, all right, so just as long as the ship's not going anywhere, we're good.
Yep, absolutely. Yep. No, you're going to be attached to this thing. Whatever rotation it has, you'll be attached to it as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
We saw no visible activity as we flew around it?
No. Everything looked like dead space. Because of your earlier rattling and nervousness, it takes a long time to do this maneuver, to attach yourself, and you're worried about, puncturing your hull. This is Feldar.
I'll circle around the station three times exactly.
Yep. Okay. 3 exactly, making sure that you dot all your I's and cross your T's.
Yep.
And you're like, okay, it's now or never, and you start the docking process. But it does take a few hours to fully merge your 2 vessels together.
While he's doing that slow trip around the station, can we use that time to basically, 1, set up a lookout to observe the rest of space with binoculars going useless, and see if we see any active action?
Yep.
And 2, is it time to let Arthur get up on the roof and fix the damn sensors? Or is that still moving through a debris field?
Right.
1A, building a new sensor array. Leave me alone.
He's busy collecting all of the supplies he's going to need to rewire that shit. Like, he spent a couple minutes looking out one of the windows.
It's like, fuck, it's all gone.
It's there, but you're going to need... Yeah, you're like, son of a bitch. Like, this is the kind of thing, it was like, if this happened on Wolf Station, there'd be a team of 3 people working on it. I mean, you get it done in a couple hours, but, it wouldn't be all yourself.
I have spare parts. I would have to,
Yeah.
Fabricate from scratch.
Oh, and by the way, while I'm making my little 3 trips, I'm going to send Arthur a little private message. I know Jim just walked away, but I'm sending Arthur a little private message.
Okay.
If we can perhaps wrangle one of the, maneuvering thrusters off of the station, it would offer us a huge propulsion boost.
Are you looking for forward, backwards, or just lateral movement type?
Oh, give me as much as you can. This thing handles like a Winnebago in space.
All right, next time we're in, I'll see what I can scrounge up.
Lone Star.
It's a Winnebago.
Space station thrusters on a cargo
It's
ship.
raspberry.
Oh, that's awful.
Only one man as he pushes the guy out of frame. I love that movie. It's fucking great.
Hey, can Grebe help Arthur in the fixing of the ship?
Yes. Well, yeah, Grebe can probably help Arthur in the fixing of the ship. He knows a little bit now about human engineering because he's...
I was also thinking, so we need to replace our sensor array.
Mm-hmm.
Why not take it off of the Feldar station? They're not using it.
Maybe. We'll have to go explore the station and make sure that everything is there and find out what's available. But it's possible that maybe you could upgrade some of your ship systems while you're out here. Unfortunately, that type of stuff will take a long time. But if you're going to be here mining this stuff for a while, then yeah.
It's our job.
It is your job. Yep.
Okay, that sounds interesting. Maybe I'll find. Hey, Grebe, you got any portable thrusters we could cobble in?
He looks at you and tilts his head to the side, and he's like, "Space stations don't usually move."
Wow.
Yeah, but what's in the docking bays?
Maybe. Who knows? There might be another one of our vessels in there. He looks out the window just
for cargo.
He leans as close as he can to one of the windows, but because he's got the helmet on, he goes clunk. Clunk.
Yes, but the station will have at least one thruster in the event that they're hit by something and they're knocked out slightly out of orbit. They have to correct them.
Yeah, but they're probably going to be huge, inefficient things.
I have no problem with that. I have no problem putting a jet engine on a car and doing the whole, Darwin Awards on it. I'm good with it.
We would send mining drones to and from the surface, so there might be one of those, a engine that would have the ability to...
Mining drones if we're going to collect any of this element.
Well, you have 8 on board your vessel. Apparently there were supposed to be 4, but due to some, poor bureaucracy and other priorities, they left the 4 that you picked up off the other ship on your ship by complete accident. Devad, now knowing about this, is like, oh, God damn it! These aren't supposed to be here. I'm going to write somebody up for this. But now you're like, oh, well, we might get it done in half the time.
That's a small consolation for misplaced inventory.
Exactly. How dare they? Someone needs these.
As everyone refuses to get hurt here.
Sorry.
I tried.
There's not a whole lot I can do, so if anyone needs help doing something, I will help them.
Alrighty.
I could use another set of hands.
I am extremely skilled in zero-G operations, so if you need something help outside, I'm probably the person you want to tag for that.
Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and say that prior to actually getting onto the space station, you're going to want your sensors working. At the very least, so you can scan to make sure there's no life forms on it.
Right.
You park the ship in such a way that the cargo bay doors are going to line up properly with this hole. So when you're ready, you depressurize one of your cargo bays, you open the doors, and you can practically walk onto the vessel, onto the space station.
I just had a thought, and I think this might be a better idea.
Okay.
Go for it.
Well, Arthur and I are working on getting the sensors at least band-aided together. Devad and
Me?
Marine.
Peter,
Okay.
maybe you should fire up one of those mining drones and go take a look-see at the station before we even cross.
No, that's a good idea.
Okay.
How's your remote piloting? I'll go look for a manual.
You go look for a manual. I'm a fairly decent pilot with drones.
As soon as Divad walks out of the room to go look for a manual on remote piloting a mining drone, you guys are like, "Fuck this! We're just gonna get it working as quick as possible. Just get it done before he gets back here." Jesus Christ!
And basically direct Grieve to be where he's the most useful for this.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know if he'd be better at the drone work or with helping us fix the ship, but
Greeb's probably best at helping fix the sensor array. His uniform is also equipped with magnetic boots. He's got extensive experience in all sorts of flight related activities, being that his job was, professional co-pilot. So Divad and Peter and Matthias will work on getting one of the mining drones ready. Arthur will link it up to... essentially what it's going to do is we're going to take a visual headset and link it up to the mining drone's sensors. So what you'll see is a thermal imaging of what the mining drone sees. And one person, will be able to walk the mining drone around on the space station and use it to scout. It's going to be Peter.
That's going to be Peter.
Okay.
So we strap
Arthur.
onto
I think
Peter.
Arthur.
Arthur's going to be busy fixing the sensor array, and once it's hooked up to the headset, it's really not a big deal. It doesn't have a lot of. It has a basic weapon, which is that little saw blade that it uses to cut through things, and it's got a mining laser, which is going to be completely useless in all situations except possibly breaking through a door, and then it's got a basic forward, backward, up, down, sideways, it constantly magnetically attached to whatever surface it's on. Let me get a little bit of water, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
I think you should get another beer.
too.
First, you
Sorry,
first.
I'm feeling a little useless in this adventure, so
Sorry.
I'm trying to help out.
No, I'm sorry. I threw myself in danger.
Well, no, we got to get you something other than being a doctor.
Well, that's all I am. The problem is it's very expensive to be a doctor, skill-wise.
Yeah.
You need drugs? I can make you drugs. You need your bones splinted? I can fix your bones. You need your spleen attached to your hippocampus? I can do that.
Well, the next time Phil hands out XP, grab a new skill. New skills are cheap.
Yeah.
You know what we actually need right now? We are very much alone. We could use another xenobiologist.
I'm working on that. That's why I've been taking samples, and I'm working on healing factor medications based off of rat biology.
Nice. Yeah, I would suggest against archery. Don't see a good strong use for that.
I was thinking the battle axe, maybe.
Ooh.
There's that.
Now we don't have those big pixel fields that stop lasers, so battle axes aren't as useful. They're still fun, but they're not necessary.
Okay. I've returned.
Yeah, the talent I took at the very beginning was 0G adaptation.
Mm-hmm.
So, I operate in 0G as if it was on land,
Right.
basically.
Which can be helpful if you're exploring derelict space stations. But right now, everyone seems to think it's a good idea to send in a drone first, which is a good idea.
For Colin.
Okay. With Greeb's, I don't even know if Greeb would have the layout of this space station per se, but he can kind of tell you, if you describe to him, I'm looking at this thing, he'll be like, oh yeah, well that's this type of room. That's the storage room.
So Greeb should be with the drone crew.
Well, also, since The Feldar are a hive mind. Do they literally share every single idea between every single Feldar?
No. They can. However,
They're not actually a hive mind,
right.
though.
They communicate through telepathy, and primarily through the sharing of memories. But they don't always do it. In fact, one of the major differences between what the Feldar do and what humanity did was when humans ate the fruit, they just started stealing memories from everybody as quickly as possible.
Right.
The Feldar kind of don't do that. They share memories. They don't grab them unless it's, extremely important. So they do have a concept of privacy. They don't use it much, but in certain circumstances, they will use it. But most of their society evolved without the need for it. They don't have greed. They don't have jealousy. They don't have envy. They don't have violent tendencies. They're pacifists. So the idea of keeping secrets from someone is kind of antithetical to their society.
Their orgies must be amazing.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing is, they've also kind of grown out of that as well.
Really?
Yeah, they don't find the need to reproduce. Well, again, this is sort of a thing that isn't really shared to you, but I'll tell you guys because we're running out of time and you're probably interested. They don't find sex entertaining because they can experience the best thing that sex had to offer from someone else's memory and then pass it down. So one guy did something really debaucherous and then they've all felt it and they're like, yeah, okay, well, that's old news now. So there isn't like a need to go and have massive orgies. Instead, they actually form tight-knit family units that, raise offspring. Or they did.
I can imagine a Feldar equivalent to the guy who ran Playboy. Hugh Hefner. Thank you.
Yeah, Hugh Hefner.
Hugh Hefner. Basically, researching even greater things so that they can spread more, even greater memories.
Yeah. Except that, likewise...
Red Breed experiences a weird collection of things he can then sell as experiences.
Yeah, at some point, one of the Feldar will probably have the weird idea to have sex with a human, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, wait a minute, now there's weird new experiences. Some stuff that's never happened. Now it's suddenly there'll be a second enlightenment for Feldar sex. But right now, it hasn't even occurred to them.
Wait until the Feldar get introduced to the sex toy industry.
Wait till you hear about pornography.
And fetishes.
How quaint. But yeah, no. So again, right now they're dealing with the fact that 99% of their species has been eradicated. But yeah, so.
Anyway.
They would if they knew a place they could settle without fear of being eaten.
I hear Mars is nice this time of year.
Mars is
We
nice.
need to, that.
Hi, Sean, in the background.
David, you should send a message back to corporate. I'm good, thank you. Trying to sell the Feldar automated defense systems. They don't have to actually man it. They're just basically automated self-defense drones in orbit around their worlds, so that when the the Wrath show up, they just get auto-obliterated.
Something to think about.
Also, minefields.
Instead of minefields, it's anti-Wrath drones.
Something to that effect.
Drones are a little more selective than a nuclear mine.
Campaign 2, of course, will be fighting against Feldar Skynet. All right, so in brief, Tom, because you are perfectly capable of piloting this drone remotely, you explore the station, and it's in remarkably good shape considering. Considering like the big explosion that definitely took out half the wall over here and all the holes, you do see a large amount of what you assume is Feldar blood splatters, but not much gore.
Okay.
I'm going to
Yeah.
assume that once the Wrath have absorbed all the organics, they don't care about the inorganics.
That seems to be the case. There's completely... they're inactive because there's no power and whatnot, but there's looks like completely intact systems all over the place. From, life support to power supply, although actually most of the power supply has been damaged in an explosion. But you do manage to finagle through some Jeffries tubes into the storage area, and there's mining equipment. There's, in fact, there's even one of those curved Feldar scout ships in one of the docking bays.
Tom's feeling on the way home.
However, as you continue to crawl through, make a... What is perception in this system?
Perception.
There you go.
Perception.
Make a perception roll. Secondary
Yeah.
attribute perception.
Yeah. I'll just take my average of 4.
Okay. As you are clicking through the station, you sense movement through the sensor arrays. And you press a couple buttons on your headset and adjust through the different cycle through some of the different sensors that your drone has, and you finally settle on one that outlines what looks like a wrath spider climbing its way through tunnels inside the station.
I'm going to, as much as the drone can, avoid the wrath.
Okay. You scurry into a nearby tube, one of these tight power coupling tubes that link through the system, and you scurry your way back. I'm assuming you're coming back to the space, to the Nero.
I am.
You notice this.
I am.
So as you do, now that you've settled on one of your sensor arrays that seems to detect them, you scan around, and you pick up 4 of these spiders crawling through different rooms in the station. Now, they do not appear to be agitated. They don't seem like they're chasing your drone, and they're not anywhere near the Nero.
Now, I have one very, very unhappy note to make when this gets reported to the rest of us. The Wrath were hive-minded. When we blew their ship up, all the little ones dropped dead, right?
Yes.
So why didn't the one in our airlock drop dead, and why are these not dead? That implies there is still a mother alien somewhere.
It's
That
possible.
or these were independent. Remember, this is a different type of raft ship, so it's entirely possible that, the ones that we faced initially are all hive-minded, group-type critters, but these are more independent.
My next question is, what are they doing here? I mean, are they eating the rubber to get more organics? I don't know.
It's hard to tell just based on the heat signature that they're leaving behind and scanning them. They don't appear to be doing anything. They're wandering aimlessly or just sitting still for a while and then moving 3 or 4 feet and then sitting down again. They don't seem to have much of a purpose.
So, like undead at this point.
Kind of. Or
So-
perhaps just lazy.
Do we know if they have any sort of vulnerability to electricity?
No. You don't
Haven't
know.
tried. My thought for things grappling the ship is a electrification of the hull type thing.
Mhm.
I'm wondering if we might be able to apply a current to the station to knock them out.
That gotta be rough simply because there's so much damage. What are we gonna blow up trying to do that?
Grebe agrees that he doesn't think it would work. There's a lot of grounding materials in the structure that Feldar implemented, as well as the fact that, yes, if you were able to cause that kind of power to go through this entire station, and it's a large station, you may wind up damaging some of the goodies.
Okay.
We're draining our batteries dry.
Well,
Yeah.
I was also thinking of something that we might be able to rig for electrifying our hull, so that if the next time something tries to grapple us, we can deliver it an unpleasant surprise.
So
Also, burp packs would be nice.
what you'll probably hope for is that somebody back on Wolf Station will make a discovery based on the biological materials that they've been researching.
Toxic paint.
Yeah, that can maybe be used as a weapon against the Wrath. Although lead bullets and plasma shells seem to be doing an awfully damn good job as well.
Speaking of plasma shells, how many of those do we have left?
Essentially, as long as you can refill with uranium or spent uranium, the thing can generate quite a lot of shots before it runs empty. You've got something like 80 of uranium shells, and the lead Gatling cannon actually just takes scrap and reforms it on the fly.
Nice.
Yeah.
Be an old dishware. So it's basically, I hereby dub it a blunderbuss.
Yeah, pretty much. You can shove a bunch of, silverware in it, and it melts it down and starts shooting it really quickly. Yeah.
Nice.
Very microforger.
We have 15 minutes till our normal ending time. I think this is probably a good place to break it so that I can build a dungeon for you to explore, essentially.
And a space dungeon.
Space dungeon.
Everyone but the
Monsters and everything.
Yep.
Well, the thing, it's not quite as scary because we know where they are.
Yeah.
We know where some are.
Yeah.
That's why I was talking about electrifying the station. Is just this get to shock them. Though I do have another. It's a terrible thought, but it is a thought.
Okay.
In
Yeah.
a cargo space, drop a whole bunch of thawed protein packs, and wait for them to all show up to assimilate the fake ground beef, and kill them all in one space.
I wonder if a super cattle prod would work against them. That would require them to get close.
Yeah.
Also, you lack any cattle prods.
I can make a cattle prod.
All you need is some capacitors and some electrodes.
Hey.
And a willingness to get close.
You just used all your capacitors and electrodes to fix that sensor array, damn it.
Yeah.
Bill, I know you want
No,
everyone to do a bug hunt, but they're all going to fight you tooth and nail before they actually go on a bug hunt.
Look, if you guys absolutely refuse to be put into a situation in which you must shoot at an alien, I will shoot an alien at you.
Seriously, says the player who's like, well, nobody's hurt, so I have nothing to do. It's like, well, great.
It does seem, it's like the cleric, I didn't get to use my spells. It's fine. You will eventually have to heal somebody. It just might not happen yet.
No. I understand that. It's just I don't have a diverse skill set.
Fair enough. You'll find something to do. Or I'll find something for you. It'll happen. No worries. Some adventures are more geared toward engineering and piloting, and others.
Yeah, I got so much computer done today.
Exactly. But you did a lot of yelling at people.
Yeah, that is my special, yelling.
And you did get to shoot an alien and technically kill it, even though you're letting Mark Jones believe he did it.
Never the Holiday Inn Express with bunk beds.
Mr. Tom,
Yeah.
you'll be occupying this on Sunday. We're gonna turn it into a bed, though. It's a futon.
Wait, you gotta put baby chicks or something in there just to surprise them.
Just surprise them. Just put bunnies.
Surprise them? Nice.
This is both the office / gaming room / guest room, so it's all of these things. Becky said you would be crazy to leave Monday night. Leaving at night is awful. You should stay at least Monday night. So Sunday, Monday, and then leave Tuesday morning. So
Yeah, we'll see how things typically go. I had a effectively a job interview earlier this week for something which starts next week. It's something at RIT just for the summer.
Such a weird hotel.
So, yeah, we'll see. We'll see where my brain is, but
Sure.
thank you.
Let us know.
Yes, I should be rolling in on Sunday.
Awesome. Sounds good. I'll make sure that I had the children. Fuck, I could tell you stories. I had the children, mostly Raymond, since he got suspended from school again, the little shitlord. Clean the room the other day, yesterday. Then he threw a massive tantrum, screamed, "I'm done with this," slammed the door, and effectively put himself in a lifetime of timeout. The little fucker. So it's pretty clean right now. I'm going to make sure it smells nice and is all vacuumed and everything else before you get here.
Okay.
Try to be hospitable.
Well, cool, Don. We'll see you in a few days.
Yep.
The meat pack idea is not a bad one at all, actually.
No, it's not. I'm totally fine with you guys designing your own trap or whatever else you want to do, come up with. It's hard to confuse you into just walking blindly into a room filled with spider aliens.
The problem is, Phil, we've all been GMs.
Yeah.
So.
We all know how this shit works. It's totally fine.
I'm waiting for the fifth alien we haven't figured out how to detect yet.
I'm here to tell a story about murdering space aliens, not necessarily kill you all. Okay, 2 weeks from today is the 25th. It is my wife's last day of work for the year, or the school year at least, and I don't see any reason why we can't play on the 25th. Sound good to everybody?
I agree.
Alrighty, I will put it in the calendar for the 25th.
Add into the calendar.
Any comments from the peanut gallery?
Comments?
Is anyone actually watching us play?
Oh, yeah, no, we had a couple people. Dirty Dog said hello. Drew Wells said beep, boop, boop, beep, boop, boop, boop when I was talking about how you're sending messages to the alien in Morse code. Somebody claimed that I was doxxed and it basically sent me a veiled threat. And Salawad said the door will birth the creature. Fun. And Dirty Dog is still here. So, not a lot of comments tonight, but, still good.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. I'll see you in 2 weeks. And Tom, I'll see you in a few days.
Okay, good night.
I have one thing to do. You have to make the fact that Mr. Coffee doesn't work become relevant at some point.
Yeah, we never fixed Mr. Coffee or the sleep chambers.
Yeah, I'm assuming, but if it turns into a point where you're spending a few months here, everything will get fixed. Otherwise, you'll be like having a very important meeting with the Feldar ambassador, and the coffee will be cold, and they'll throw it on the ground. This is terrible coffee! You've disgraced your race.
This is how my memory says it should be like at all.
This bean juice is horrible. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.
All right. Let me go ahead and pull up. Fuck, I don't know. What is appropriate to put in front of you guys? Here, maybe this. Okay. Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for watching. It is, time for the weekly D&D game, Winterborn. Welcome. I'm glad you enjoyed it. So it is 9:52. I have a few tasks I need to get done, jobs around the house I need to handle. But then I think, looking around here, kind of trying to gauge how I feel, I think I might want to play a little bit of RimWorld following this stream. I do need to, send the dogs out, pee, maybe. I could also record another roll for cocktail. But that'll take like half an hour, and then I'll have no time to play, and then I'll have a fucking cocktail to drink. So I'll probably wait on that for maybe the weekend. So yeah, why not do this? I'm going to end this stream. I'm going to go ahead, take the dogs out, etc. Make sure everything's ready to go. And then I'll come back, and we'll play a little bit of RimWorld before I go to bed. A little like RimWorld mini stream for 45 minutes or so. Yep. Sorry, Dirty D. I'm not going to bed yet. If you have to go to bed, you, of course, can go to bed. Phoebzer, welcome. Okay, so I will see you guys in about 10 minutes-ish. Take care. Come back soon.